I'm back. I'm back. They cut me off, but I'm back. But we're going to be talking about a different topic since they don't like that topic. This new topic is going to be about, have you noticed any normal, when I say normal, I mean people that aren't very spiritual or, you know, um, into this type of thing. Have they been noticing the changes and what's been going on? Have they been looking at the sun, the sky, noticing the weather is different, noticing, all these different things that we are more aware of? Um, because I I think it's strange that people won't even notice their own environment or notice what's happening. Like, are they? I know some people are, and I think this is also helping to wake a lot of people up. These changes, the people that don't really wake up, they're probably going to be the ones that are going to be the most vulnerable. So yeah, I'm back. So I was just wondering and asking you guys if people are noticing, and if they are noticing, what are they thinking and what are they saying? Because I don't really talk to normal people unless they come in here lost, you know. So the other day you walked to the river and it was so cluttered with trash. Embarrassing. Wow. Um, Your cousin, who was still at the love and light stage, had not noticed the sky at all. She was like, "What?" Ooh. Um, been reading posts where they saying God's trying to tell us something. Yeah, but what? Like, what's the point of being, religious if you don't know what God's trying to tell you? You know what I'm saying? Um, they've been calling you and asking you questions about what they feel or see. Your mom is in Texas and my brother's in LA. Wow. Your husband doesn't have a damn clue, mine either. But I tell him, so whatever happens, he'll at least know. um, it's usually much colder in February. Yeah. They're blissfully blind. Why are they trying to summon the gods to the earth? Da, 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 da. Um, well, here's my thing, like my honest opinion. This is not fact. This is just what I think. For more knowledge. We've gone as far as we can go, you know, for more knowledge. hmm Because everything that is backfiring. It means it's not working. And there's another way, because if you had an ancient civilization that lived and thrived for 5,000 years in peace with no war, you might want to talk to those beings that help create that. Uh-oh. It's buffering again. Ugh. I'm sorry, y'all. I might, I don't know, maybe it's all these crystals and stuff over here, and my elixirs and my gold and platinum is making the signals go crazy. I don't know. Maybe I need to move it. Okay, good. So, yeah, if you were aware of a civilization that lived 5,000 years in peace and abundance, wouldn't you want to speak to the gods that help set that up? I feel like, especially America, that's why it's a lot of focus on certain countries, not all countries, but certain countries that are having these changes, because you get to a point where, okay, we're going to go to war, we're going to steal, we're going to have oil, we're going to pollute the earth, we're going to destroy the ozone. Oops, the ozone is what protects us. Oops, now we're dying of UVB radiation. Oh no, we can't go to Mars. So what do we do now? We have to call the gods. Okay. So there's no choice. That's it. Um, and because people won't change by just asking them to. You've put them up. You've gotten them in the habits of your ways. So you have to start with a fresh, new beginning, which is almost like even if calling the gods won't destroy everything, but will put it in order, um, or give the knowledge to put it in order. And like I said, these gods, these ninth dimensional gods, they don't play. They come to put stuff in order and that's it. They don't have no emotions. They come to put it in order and then, that's it. That's what they do. They give you the information. They say, do this. Don't be wasting my time. If you don't call me, if you don't want to listen to me, just like, um, when you sit there and give your friend advice and then they, drain you for 2 hours telling you their problems and then they don't take the advice, that's when people get, or, you know, these gods would probably get real angry. So when all else fails, call the gods. So that's what's happening, I feel. I mean, I feel like they've tried everything. You can't get anything done unless you don't care. You understand? I'm telling y'all. That's why Donald Trump just starts signing crap and he don't care. Because he needs to get stuff done. And that's exactly how these gods are. These ninth dimensional beings, they don't care. When I astral traveled to the ninth dimension and, the dark cloaked mass beings, telepathically, it's not that they talk to you, it's that you just know what they know. You know what I mean? Or you see what they see or feel what they feel. It's the same thing. It's like having all the senses in one. They don't care. They say, do A, B, C, and D, and that's it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if it does this. I don't care if it kills this many people. I don't care. You want it fixed? That's what you called me for? Fix it. But I don't care about the little minute details. That is what is going to probably be the attitude going forward in a lot of these things. There's no, compromise. Okay. And the thing about that is you also have to, if you understand this, you won't take stuff personally and you'll get as um, ready or prepared or do what's necessary in order to be able to maneuver in this new developing shift, So you feel much better about yourself? Good. Because they about to order by all means necessary, right? No time for BS. Exactly. So that's like, thank you for the donation. I am Sophie. Hey, Shira, hope all is well. Thank you. All is well. So, and I think that was able to understand that because, I feel like before I was aware of how they operated and how they felt and how they thought, you see someone as bad or good, but in the ninth dimension, it's not that. It's chaos and order. Which one do you want? Basically, that's it. So that's all it is. That's all it is. And it's either, when you trying to get your yard together for spring and you got a little family of ants over here, some termites over here, some some snakes, I don't know, over there, some weeds over here. You're not considering those animals' feelings or where they're going to live or if they live or die. You're trying to get your yard together for spring, okay, or summer or whatever. You're going to mow it. You're going to kill the ant piles, kill the weeds, get all the bad things out of your yard and your garden, and you're going to have the yard that is in order. So, we can't, have, oh, well, the ants don't want to move. So, you're going to have to wait until this this goes through Congress and then we'll vote if the ants can leave or not. No, they don't care. The ants are gone, basically, you see? So that's what it's coming down to. And if the ants don't get another home or figure out it's time to head to the next yard who don't care, or develop wings and become flying ants, I don't know. Or if they survive the ant pile removal situation, great. But they got to go. So what if they use their knowledge for doing bad instead of good? um to them, there's order and chaos. If you want chaos fixed, they will bring order. You see, there is no good or bad. There's chaos and order. That's what they specialize in. Either you are or you're not. And when you bring forward certain gods to say, or netters, it's their frequency. You know what I'm saying? If they're on the ninth dimensional frequency, they're not going. They're there to complete the mission. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. Bro, Panic also said either you know or you don't know. Right. Well, that's how it is on higher dimensional levels. That's why whenever you see those alien movies and they come to destroy Earth and then they come down into Earth and live among humans and see human problems, and they say, oh, well, we can't destroy it, A, B, C, and D. Well, that's not what really happens, when it does, they're still going to have to call them back again in the future eventually because they never fix the problem. You see, that's what happened the first time. You know, so that's what happened the first time. The problem wasn't as great or grand because it hadn't developed yet, but as it has started developing and going downhill, now it's time to reclaim and put things back in the correct order. Um, mhm. Is this crazy talk? Sure. Y'all know the crazy person at the end of the movie that was telling y'all the crazy stuff was always right at the end? Okay, yes, this is crazy talk then. Oh, sorry. So that's why, and any being that is from the cosmos is going to work through nature, because that is how the cosmos creates and works, is through nature. Okay. So if these ninth dimensional beings are already in communication with humans who have and want to bring them back, they're going to tell them how to prepare for their coming, you know. And so if they're preparing for these beings to manifest in physical form, or it might not even be a physical form, it may be just a holographic form where you can speak and talk to someone and be a presence in their you know in their vicinity, in their light spectrum, because these beings aren't like us. They're more of a spiritual soul type plasmic energy that needs a certain frequency to be seen in this light spectrum. So that's why the 5G is going up. But and that's why Donald Trump wants the 5G up quick. So things can change. Hmm. You want to offer them a gift. They don't need a gift from you, baby. Here's my thing. They don't care about the material gifts. You know what I mean? They're plasma beings. If you want to give them a gift, give them something to empower their plasma, like 5G, some candle, candles, water. That's why on the altar you put candles and water, because that creates and gives energy to plasma energy. You know what I'm saying? So if a lot of you witches never understood why people light candles and put water on an ancestor altar, it's to feed and give and activate their plasma, electrical plasma, their soul plasma. So that's the only offerings you could really give. But we have the ocean, we have the sun. So I mean, that's nice of you. You know, they have the ocean, they have the sun. Okay. He even wants 6G. Oh, for real? Only 6G? Oh, wow. Wonder what that's gonna do. 9G, ninth dimensional beings do not incarnate as humans. Because their job is to regulate. You see, they will give you information, but they're not going to manifest as a human. hmm So, what dimension are you on? All of them. That was last night, right? And the thing is, once you understand these things, it's not personal. You don't take it personal. You just say, okay, well, what is the best thing that I can do in the situation? And then you just move forward. That's it. So the 9D beings look just like Darth Vader. You can't see their face. They wear all black. They don't even have feet. They float. Okay. They're because they're plasma. And I don't know what they look like underneath because they wear masks. They're in all black. They even have you can't see anything. It's just an all black masked Darth Vader looking thing. It doesn't look exactly like Darth Vader. The helmet is a little bit different. It's not even like really a helmet. It's more like a structure. I don't know. It's a mask in one. I guess it is a helmet, but don't look like Darth Vader helmet 100%. It's very similar. It's more triangular than it is round on top. I don't know. But it's not you don't see the face, but um mhm. You seen them for real? Mhm. Yeah, their eyes are red. Yep. So you seen it too. Their eyes are red. Um you just and they telecommunicate. They don't speak. You scared you? You was 8? Yeah, I was in my 30s. Um thank you Jasmine for showing up. Thanks. Um so that was an interesting, and a lot of people have seen them in their astral travel or in their you know meditations. Is that why they say in the Bible you don't see the face of God? Right? Maybe so, because in energy form, what can you see? Shira, how many dimensions can a human being go to? Depends on the human. You know, it depends on who you are. It depends on your level of consciousness and your level of consciousness. A lot of people said that there's only 9 dimensions, but there's way more beyond that. But you have to be a crystalline being to get beyond 9D. If you're not crystalline, if your body or your plasma does not transform into a crystalline energy, you won't be able to go past 9D and be creator. So if you know, that's what it is. 12. hmm Level how to become crystalline being. Or you have to use or energy. Crystalline beings are, if you're naturally melanated already, you have a head start. Then you must crystallize, your thinking and your also your physical body within, without, mentally, and all that. Uh, the gold. That's why this is named crystalline silver nanoparticles. This is why this is named crystalline copper nanoparticles, crystalline gold nanoparticles, and crystalline platinum. I got the platinum, y'all. It's up. It's on my Etsy store. This one is very good for creative energy. It raises libido. The phase two is actually the more powerful version of this because it's mixed with other nanoparticles of different ones and other minerals. That one will have you like maybe this is if that one is too powerful for you, just get the plain platinum. This one will raise your libido, but phase two is going to really get you like to the next level. Like wow. And it also has platinum in phase two, so you can get that. Right now, yeah, they should be fully stocked on my Etsy. Um, do I have two lives going? No, the other one I need to go and cut that off, obviously. Mhm. I'll go and cut it off because I totally forgot. Because I was cut off. Um, Thank you for subscribing to my channel, J Money. I appreciate that. Even if we are woke, should we start at phase one? Yes. It's an alchemy. It creates your crystalline body and your crystalline consciousness. Um, and you can also take the Vita elixirs, which is just the gold, platinum, silver, and copper. You can take those in addition, but maybe do way less. Like if this is 5 to 15 drops, maybe just take 5 drops. If you're taking the other phases of my elixirs as well. So it's to create the body to be able to vibrate on a certain frequency. That's what is eventually going to happen. Now, like you can take all these supplements and stuff, and it's going to build up in your body. I mean, of course, some's going to come out, but over time, it's going to build up in your body to give you that higher frequency, you see. So that's why the drops and the elixirs um, help with becoming crystalline, because back in the old days in ancient Egypt, their water came from a river in Africa, the Nile River. So in Africa, there's lots of minerals and crystals and diamonds and gold and silvers and platinums. So it's already in the water. They were supplementing with water, and their water had all these minerals in it, and um, they wore a lot of jewelry with this stones and gold and things that conducted frequencies on a higher level. You know what I mean? So as within, so without, as above, so below. You know, all the minerals that are on the planet came from the heavens, from a star that exploded and pushed it all into the planet. So in order to return back to the cosmos, you too must be like a star, which is crystalline, which has that energy, that ore energy. So that's why that's why in order to vibrate on a certain frequency, you also have to have um, that ore energy. Now, melanin naturally has it, but if you're not healthy, if you're not taking enough minerals, vitamins, or supplements, then it's not going to vibrate as high as the person that is, and your consciousness won't develop as fast either. So, you may not be aware of what's actually going on, you know, so you could still be vulnerable. But that's why it's important to, make sure that you're keeping yourself at your optimum um, frequency, your highest frequency. Okay. All right. I saw a creature that looked similar to Jabba the Hutt when I was a child. It was small though. It was some space between my dresser and the wall, and it was hiding behind it. Ooh, that was probably there are entities, energies that look quite ugly, that a lot of children see, or a lot of people who try to take drugs, they start to see like these weird looking evil creatures and demons and stuff because they're, on this these drugs. But a lot of times children can see these type of beings because I used to see stuff like that all the time, which is why I never thought it was scary because I didn't know what scary was yet. You know what I mean? So if you don't know what evil looks like or scary looks like, and I'm not even gonna say it's evil, but if you don't know what ugly or scary really looks like, and you see like a creature or something, you just think it's a creature, you know? So you don't know how to judge it. You just look at it and say, hey. Um, are there amphibious aliens? Had scales and face and large eyes. They don't feel scared by it. Um, the ocean is one of the least explored places, so I'm pretty sure there is intelligent life there. Mhm. Yeah, the drug addicts be having illusions, not visions. Yeah, it's similar. That's true. Mhm. The chemtrails and pollution is dangerous being outside now. Probably. Mhm. Nothing should be personal. That's right. I used to have lucid dreams, but not anymore. I have an out of body. I did have an out of body. That's cool. Um, these dream drops by Man of Letters. He has a YouTube channel. They will get you back to lucid dreaming, prophetic dreaming, and vivid dreaming. They're really good. I don't. Mhm. Have I seen Nicki Minaj's MTV performance? She has 5G symbol in her performance. Oh no, I didn't see it. Um, you saw. When I was a child, I saw it being in my room and stuck your middle finger up to it. At that moment, I was electrocuted and woke up on the floor with a bleeding nose. I think I was. That was funny. I would have electrocuted you too. I bad kids. Um, they had the plasma, obviously. Right. Whatever it was, it didn't play. That's right. It said, okay. Bzz. It said, look, um, he was just trying to line up your frequency to the correct one because you were obviously mistaken. You believe it was an ancestor, not a demon. Mind your manners, right? Shira, do you believe in the things that taught on Ancient Alien? A lot of them make sense to me, to be honest. Some of the things they lead you astray on purpose towards the end, but they do put a little bit of the truth in there, but then they lead you astray at the end so that you don't really know which one to believe because they always give you different scenarios. But some of the stuff in there, especially the one about the pyramid, oh yeah, that one has a lot of clues. And then also if you watch the pyramid code, that one is telling a lot of things, but they still don't 100% get it right because they're not going to tell you everything, but you can read between the lines. There on the pyramid code, On Netflix, they have this Egyptologist who's from Egypt, and he was being interviewed, and he kept telling them, we've been trying to tell y'all just don't believe us. Y'all keep trying to figure stuff out, and we've been trying to tell you. But they were not listening because they thought, oh, these people couldn't have had that much technology back then. Let's go a different route. But the Egyptologist from Egypt was saying, we've been trying for years. They don't want to listen. Oh well, So now they're trying to listen because they understand that there was that technology back then. Because the technology came from the gods. And the only reason we have that today, in most part, is because of Egypt, not because of Tesla, because Tesla got his knowledge from ancient Egypt. So now they realize that, right? And so they went back to the source, like they should have in the first place. And Trump is on a mission for 5G to bring back, these knowledgeable beings to help fix what got messed up. That's the only thing you can do when something is messed up to how when you try to do home repairs and it just keeps getting worse and worse because you don't know what you're doing. So you got to go call the professionals. That's what's trying to happen right now. The professionals have to be called in. Okay. I don't worship anybody. Mhm. I don't think people are gods or spirits are supposed to be worshipped. They're supposed to be listened. They're supposed to give knowledge, and you're supposed to receive knowledge. If you worshiping something, that means you're a worshiper. I don't know. Hmm. Gold and copper, conductors of electricity, crystalline energy. You know. Hmm. They closed schools here for the rain. Wow. If you go to Africa and you see all these chiefs, kings, ancient pharaohs, and even today, you'll see a lot of people that wear a lot of gold. They have diamonds, gold, and then you pile it on top of melanin, you're going to have a superconductor right there, straight up. So, having like my earrings, a lot of people think these are just for fashion. These have certain stones in them, and they're gold. This has an amethyst. This also has my aquamarine birthstone, and this is gold. So it creates a frequency, and the frequency is also between my head, on both sides. So it's a balanced frequency that for that. When if you wear this is lapis lazuli. A lot of the ancient Egyptians wore this stone. It is to protect, and it also is good for people preventing your energy from being taken as well. Hmm. Um, the Queen Stone, exactly. So, whatever you research that resonates with you as far as stones, crystals, or jewelry, then that's wonderful. You can change it up at any time. Like I have this copper egg right here. This is pure copper, 100% copper. This is really good for when you're trying to raise your frequency because it's a superconductor. When you're trying to get some energy. Um, Even if you can't find that, if you get a bunch of pennies from 1984 or older, those are gonna be made of copper, no other metals in it. Because I think that's how they make this. Mhm. Namaste, sister, I must go. Okay. Have fun, Tammy. Thanks for watching. You feel a significant shift happening. Yeah. You keep an amethyst with you at all times. That's cool. It can be both metal and stone. Well, gold, platinum, copper are conductors. Hmm. So, about the activity that's been happening as of late in the skies, right? The the normal people don't really notice anything. They just go about their normal lives. They don't ever look up at the sky. They don't ever think anything is wrong. Some do, but most don't. And it's really weird how you can live on Earth and not even look up in the sky or even notice anything that's different. It's weird. I think it's because of the internet and how people are so into their phones or computers or their jobs or careers or trying to, you know, post, photos on social media. I think it's because they're so distracted by, those type of things that they're not even looking up at the sky. And I don't remember who or what said this, but um it could have been the Bible, but I don't even remember. But people will welcome in that the very thing that is most likely to destroy them, because they don't really care. You know what I mean? And so the 5G, people are probably waiting in line to go get the new 5G phone. Oh, I'm gonna get the new 5G phone. You know, um, don't even really research what 5G does or what it is, and just don't look at the sky and whatever. So they're going to be really close to that 5G frequency, not knowing how to shield themselves or protect themselves even from it. And they're going to be on the phone all the time. And they're probably going to be the first ones to become ill, with this, that frequency. So, very strange, right? Cooking their brains, right? You're not going to lie. You never look at the sky. Why? That's kind of strange, don't you think? Cows in the pastures don't look at the sky because 'cause they're cows. They can't even hardly look up anyway. Um, right. Getting rid of social media this year. You don't have to get rid of it, you just need a balance. See, that's the thing that most people don't realize. You don't have to totally get rid of anything, you just need to balance it out, like Thanos on the Avengers. It's all about balance. You can't give up something you enjoy just because you gotta balance it out, you know? That's what it's about. Um, Social media is poison. It's not really poison. It just depends on the person, um, who's on social media. You can block certain things. You don't have to see everything. Um, you watched the Infinity Wars last night, lady. Sure, how much time do you spend on social media? Well, see, when I'm on social media, I'm either on YouTube answering emails or in my groups. So it's my job. Social media is my job because that's how I get paid, basically. So social media is my job. I don't do it for free. When I'm not getting paid, I'm not on social media. You see? So I'm out doing other real things because if social media was a job, you wouldn't be on it as much. You see? Um, it's cold where I am. The weather changes like crazy here now. Hmm. Just don't follow people who make you feel less than and don't join in on the drama. Right. Maybe just follow things that make you feel good. Yeah, because social media and the internet is just like your universe. You can create the universe you want by choosing what you look at. You can block what you don't like and subscribe to what you do like. That's basically it. Block the people you don't want in your universe, follow the people you do want in your universe. That easy. Um, the weather is a complete 180. It sure is. There was this one song by the Black Eyed Peas on their new album, um, and it was saying something about kick the square into an octagon. And to me, they're talking about the angles and the shifts of the planet Earth. Instead of just shifting 90 degrees, now they're shifting at the same, like, because that was fourth dimension, right? The square would be four dimensional. And now he said he kicked it up to an octagon. That's the eighth dimension. So we're about to welcome in the ninth dimension very, very soon. I feel like that's why I have that dream. Because, oh, sorry. When you take a square and then you change it to the dimension, the fifth dimension and the sixth dimension, it gets more sides and angles to it. So now it's up to the eighth, or it's right now it's about to be, or it's up to the eighth dimension. And that's why this 5G has got to come in to bring in the ninth dimension. See, 4 plus 5, the fourth dimension plus the 5G will bring in the 9G, or the ninth dimension. And that's what is going on right now. Hey, James, I'm live. Where's Cat? Not coming down? Because the food is upstairs. Anyway, 9 is completion, right? Missed out on the butterfly dance in my village. What? They got a butterfly dance? Can you feel the pool? Oh yeah, you can feel the pool. 9 is completion. Love. Thank you. What? Can I read animal thoughts? Yeah, I'm hungry. That's what they always thinking. Food, 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 food. My cat, anyway. I hope you will tell your tips on how to stay relaxed in a stressful situation. I just don't care. What James know, when I'm stressed out, I'll just start asking a bunch of questions, right? Well, what if when I'm stressed out, I ask questions so I can get the answers. That's how I calm myself, by getting knowledge. I'm like, well, what do you think is going to happen? Well, what do you think? Well, what's the name of that thing? Let me go look it up. Da 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 da. You just ask questions, and each answer you get will help you get more calm, because the more you know, the more you can prepare and try to avoid the situation or fix it or whatever. So that's how I handle it. Like, honestly, if I do feel any type of stress, like, You like food more than people. A lot of people do. Storm clouds brewing for the closed universe. And what? This book right here, It's more than about like what happens when you die. It's about the cosmos and time, and how things navigate and all that kind of stuff scientifically. It says anesthesia not only stops pain, it stops time. You know, when you go into surgery and you get that anesthesia and then you wake up and it seems like 5 to 10 minutes have passed and it's been hours. Um, Andrew McLaughlin or whatever. I don't know if I pronounced it. You know how like when you go under anesthesia to get surgery and then you wake up and it feels like it's only been 10 minutes, but it's been hours and hours. It stops time. So we can only experience time when we are conscious. That's why your dreams don't have time. You see? Um, time, yeah. And we can only do this if we're conscious, even fathom time. You get an idea of this if you think of it. So, like, if you're ever in a dream, you know, you never really see the time, or you never really experience time on the same level as you do when you're awake. And it also says that if you sleep really soundly, you are not really aware of the hours that you are asleep, even though you are actually still conscious to a degree, enough to roll over many times, but you won't really understand like how many hours you slept and things like that until you wake up and like look at a clock. hmm So we are. hmm You did a video about Kelly Eden. Did a video about her lipo and going under and back up again process. Okay. Ashira, do you use tarot for advice still? Very rarely, because people don't ask the correct questions. Those are for enlightenment and a path to a higher frequency and higher self. If you're asking about lower things, then that's where you mess up. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I stopped doing those readings, because people were asking me the questions that I wanted to not answer, you know. So if you use tarot cards, ask the right questions. Talk to, yourself about what you really are trying to figure out and know, and to lead you to the correct or to a because all answers are options. Any card you get is simply an option. Just like in that, I finally watched that movie Bandersnatch. Why y'all make me watch that movie? It's like these people are dumb, because I could have figured all of that stuff out. Um, they're thinking that they had a choice, but they never did. And then at the end, it's a movie. And then he died because he realized what was going on and finally made the decision, to go with his mom. I don't know. hmm You, I got to go back to class. Hey, okay, well, have fun. Never got. Okay, sorry, I don't have. That's not my company. Write to them. Or write to me, and yeah, and I'll try to get them the message. Yeah, I'll try to help you. Go ahead and just like in my email, or go to my about section and contact me. There's like different ways to contact me there. Do you treat like dark energy as the yin yang thing? Mm, I don't really separate light dark energy anymore, because to me, dark energy, dark matter is just light outside of the light spectrum that we can see on the planet Earth. It's the dark matter in outer space. So that's the only difference. If you look at it scientifically, what you can see and what you can't see. That's basically it. That's why the 5G is coming in to bring what you can't see into this light spectrum. What you can't hear into this sound spectrum. That's what it's doing. So mhm. She is a tricker. Mhm. Trying to separate will being. Hey, Shira, I just read about the 6G president is asking us all to get is Lady Crystal. Y'all already knew if y'all watch my videos why they need this 5G. Now it's 6G. Why they need that? They're trying to bring back in the gods. Um, so they think about it. Let me ask you a question. If you were the president, you wanted to fix your country and be, have all this information and knowledge, wouldn't you try to call the gods back? Okay. I mean, you you've seen through many presidents that nothing is going to be fixed. Nothing is going to be fixed by how their system operates. You understand? So the only thing left to do is call in the gods. You see? That's the only thing left to do. What are we gonna do? Do some more waiting and voting voting and waiting and getting mad and not seeing anything change, but things get worse? I mean, that's only what insane people do. You know, I'm, don't make me president. We can call in a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. The gods of ancient Egypt, ancient Sumeria, ancient Kim, the gods that helped create the societies that were peaceful and thrived abundantly for 5,000 plus years. Those were the ones because, you know, um, those are the ones that set it all up. So that's what can fix it and understand how to fix it. Okay. They're still here, but they're not able to manifest and walk among men because they're in plasma form. You get a certain frequency on the planet, the plasma, the dark plasma can become more dense and then almost create the ability to walk among you. You know what I mean? So if you look back to all the ancient cultures that did have gods, you'll always see them walking among men. You see, then when you go to religion, like Christian religions and things, you'll never see the gods walking among men. They're always nowhere around. Okay. So they're not anywhere around. They're up in the sky. You see? So you go back to pre-Christian and pre religion, you'll see the gods walk among the people and give knowledge to them. But then fast forward to religion, they're up in the sky and the people are living in turmoil. It's the same thing. And then Tesla wrote poetry, but he was dropping clues in his poetry. He was talking about um, something about Mount Olympus and the lightning and Zeus and stuff like this. Um, Basically, trying to tell people he had the technology um, to create lightning and strike wherever he chose. Because we already knew he was trying to bring back the gods because he saw that people were going in the wrong direction. He even said it so many times. You guys are going in the wrong direction. So he did a lot of stuff in secret that most people didn't know about. Um, he did have secret technology. He did have stuff stored away, probably giving it to other people before he died or whatever. But he he did create some of the things that would help fix society or help it. But of course, they were probably some of them were probably later on exploited to make more money. Mhm. Did you hear about the allegations of the Catholic priest committing child? That's every week. What are you talking about? Yeah. Um, you know, I don't really deal with religion because it's a man-made form of control, and actually it's more condemning than it is able to free your mind, or help you get to the next level. So I don't really do religion. Mhm. One cardinal was just relieved of his duty. Okay. Well, I don't. Y'all, the Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying? They make the most money in the world, but they have enough money in the Catholic Church to end world hunger. Okay, so that's one clue to why they are in existence, because they're greedy. Um, you thought we were the gods returned? Um, you know, the gods had children. You know what I mean? So the gods had children. Spiritually, spirituality is higher than religion. Hmm. So that just means, like, if you incarnated in a melanated body, then you're a child of the gods. You know what I mean? And it's like, because it's from the cosmos. The church gave you expired food. Wow. But they could reproduce with no man. A no man. With no man. What? Letitia, I think the Jesse Smollett situation will wake people up to question what they are putting in their mind. I'm tired of seeing that stupid story on social media. I mean, it was the dumb story to begin with and a dumb story to end with. I didn't even pay attention to it because I don't even like that stupid show. Empire is dumb. No offense against Empire fans, it's just too slow for me, and there's not enough knowledge in it for me to be watching it. There's nothing in it for me. It's just silly and it's bad written. I watched one episode and I was like, I can't waste my brain cells. Hmm. Um, can you speak on the internal conflict of mixed people? I don't have a mixed, what do you call it, thing, you know? So I don't know how to answer that. You're mixed and you're fine, okay. um, is it buffering again? Lord, let me scoot back. I don't understand, like, the difference. Here's my thing. Mm, I guess, what is the internal struggle? Because I don't know what the internal struggle would be. Hmm. Okay, maybe if I just scoot back, I'll be better. It's just me. I'm too electric for y'all. Messing up the signal. You're mixed with Native American bloodline. Me too. I got Native American, African. I got a bunch of stuff. I did my DNA. The funny thing is, most of the European comes from the black side of my family. Isn't that funny? Hmm. We are all mixed lots, right? Why do I want to wait till my kids are older to go to Egypt? So they can enjoy it fully, you know? Um, when you're a certain age, you're not paying attention to certain things. You're not absorbing as much as you could if you're fully aware and conscious of, what's going on and what things mean. So I want to take them when it's more meaningful and when I don't have to rush them back so they can go to school. I just want to be free to do what I want and travel, without a time frame to return. It's just more convenient. Um, they got another video on zombie deer. Oh gosh. Hey, Shira lady, is the world ending with the gods fight each other for power? No, 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 no. They come to give information, and they come to give information. But in order for them to return, the earth has to be on a certain frequency. In order for the earth to be on a certain frequency, the frequency is going to make a lot of people sick. Um, but that's the only way to get the information in, for them to return. So, like I said, the ninth dimensional beings are not really caring. Do you want the information or don't you? That's it. You know. Um, and in the ancient times, you'll see them tearing down, like in Sumeria, you'll see them tearing down Asherah poles, and in Egypt, you'll see them tearing down the jet pillars, because those were the um, the poles and the pillars that created the frequency through streaming the electrical energy that would allow the gods to manifest in this dimension. Hey, James. So that's what it was. And then later on, after they were gone, then you see a different type of Egypt evolve and different people come in once those towers were taken down. Then you see, all the mixing start, and all the people coming from this land and this land coming into Egypt. Because before they couldn't come into that land because of that frequency. You see, that frequency would not allow them to be there because they weren't going to be healthy enough, or they weren't able to come out in that vibrational frequency to that land of Kim, because the pyramids, the pillars, it was all lined up in a frequency created by the crystals and the limestone, the sun, and then they also had electricity, you see, and the ore energy. It was all combined, and the gods were able to manifest and walk among the people and give more knowledge. And so that's why it was peaceful and was not disturbed for 5,000 years, because the frequency, just like on the Black Panther movie, they had a shield around Wakanda where no one could get in. It's the same thing as that frequency. If that frequency is surrounding um, the uh, the area, then nobody can get in without feeling ill or sick. You know what I'm saying? So they basically stay out. hmm hmm You've been lied to for years, right? Um, I feel like it will. I think that's what Trump is trying to tell you guys about this wall. Y'all remember in the Avengers, Infinity War, the wall that they had around Wakanda was keeping all those energies out, and he said, "Let the wall down." And then there was a random selection of who left and who stayed. I think that's what's the message was trying to, be given. I think that was the message that was trying to be given. There's going to be a random selection, and it's not really super random if you understand what the science is behind it. Then you can kind of avoid being randomly chosen. They're calling it random, but it might not be random. You know what I'm saying? So, mhm. And then, I don't know if you saw that movie, but when they were asking Thanos, why do half the people have to die? He's like, it's just the balance of the universe. It's just a balance. He wasn't, you know, saying he was good or bad. It was just saying that was his job, was to balance it out. That's just his job. That's in his nature. So, he couldn't stop until he did it. The drive was natural. So he even sacrificed his daughter to create the balance. So that's what is kind of 9D type personality there in Thanos. Um a a time to be born and a time to die, right? You should look at The Rain and 4400 on Netflix. It speaks volumes. I think I tried to watch those, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know why. Sometimes I can't get into certain movies. I mean, especially those B movies. It's hard for me to get in. I need some action. Um, Thanos is off the hook, right? And those, wait, what are we talking about? Okay. So, I cleared all doubts. Oh, that's cool. So, the mundane normal people that don't know what's going on, like, um, I think there's a person that's awake in every family, hopefully, that does know what's going on and that'll know what to do. So I think that's good. I got it. So we good. Mhm. Lilith. I feel like Lilith is also an energy, the feminine energy that's returning. That's why you're seeing a lot of stuff with women and women rights and things like that, because that is the correct order of things. How before you bring in the 9D, you have to fix you got to bring in the woman, because that's what was taken away first of all, because um the patriarchy, that the women have to get their rights back and their fair treatment and their justice and all that kind of stuff taken care of before this stuff can be cleaned up, because you need that in order to fix what's going on. So that's why you see a lot of women empowerment stuff happening right now, bringing back that balance so that when these, you know, energies do return, they have something to balance, because there would be nothing to balance if it's all patriarchal. You know what I mean? There would be no balance there. So they need the positive and the negative, or the masculine, and the feminine, to complete the mission, Um, and that's another reason why they're putting a lot of spotlight on, you know, women issues. hmm The law of gender, right? What should we do? Supplement, become crystalline, understand, you know, get knowledge. That's the best thing you can do. Um, mhm. Read books, get more information, understand what's going on in your world. Some people will watch the news, but that's not what's going on in your world. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on the media. There's two different worlds: the media world and the real world. hmm Um, that's why people who think Kali Mata killed Shiva are wrong, wrong, wrong. Uh-huh. Um, well, if you're an eternal god or goddess, um, then you're not really dead, right? Drink a lot of water, keep your vibrations high. Stay away from negative situations. Be as healthy as you can be. Pay attention to what's going on in the real world. You know, um, what do you think of Buddhism? I'll travel to Egypt just to come back from Italy. Okay. I don't subscribe to any religion. I think there's a lot of information in each, religion, and I feel like anything that's limited is not something that I want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a part of anything with limits or boundaries. Um, I feel I don't label myself. Why would I need a religion if I'm already a part of the cosmos? You know what I'm saying? That's silly. Why does a star worship anything? Does a star have a religion? No. You see, that's where you separate the humans from the non-humans. You see what I'm saying? I don't need a religion. Are you What's my tribe? Oh, on my ancestor? Um Molly. Molly is on there. Um I, exactly, good point. So, mhm. When you worship, you give up control, right? So, for me, it's very important to take my own spiritual path. Exactly. Why do they keep asking you the same questions? I don't know. Maybe they're new to the channel. I don't know. Humans are only idiots who think they're gonna follow religion, right? Um, why? Adios. You should consider a podcast. No, I don't like that. Bye. It looks good. Bye. You might want to cut the strings in the back, like on the sides. You don't have the suit. It has the threads there. um. Mhm. What do you think about making audio recordings in story form or manifesting, kind of like writing a manifestation journal and listening to them? I think it's cool. I mean, it's creative. It sounds fun. I've seen The Rival. Yeah, that movie's crazy, right? I talked about it in one video. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Like that's how they manifest in that plasma form, that dark matter form. And do you remember how they couldn't be in contact, like in direct contact, because they were on a different frequency or whatever? And then whenever it was all over, they just vanished and disappeared into like the plasma. That was a good movie. Can you help? I think I'm still confused. Oh, yeah. I broke my subconscious patterns from listening to my own audio. Oh, that's cool. Your own voice. That's a good idea. Mhm. Mhm. I see what you are saying. So we need to go to No, I mean, okay, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that's what I'm going to do when my kids get older. you know, um travel. with them so they can see the world too. You should what? Oh, how do you know if you're a goddess? I've always wondered that. If you just got to know. I don't know. Mhm. How many think that? What? Wow. Do you know if phase 1 has been restocked? It's all restocked right now. If you go look, everything should be there on my Etsy. Mhm. Like, is he trying to stop 5G? I'm going to find another one of your No, he wants 5G. Okay, here's the thing. 5G is not good for everybody. Okay, it's gonna make a lot of people sick. Yes, that's gonna happen. But in order to bring this energy back to the planet to get information and to fix what's going on, there has to be a frequency on the planet so that they can manifest in this physical planet. It's not going to be healthy for a lot of people. It's going to be bad for a lot of people. There are some places that are outlawing it that don't have it. So, those places are kind of probably going to be more safe. So you just have to do your research. But I feel eventually it's going to be everywhere or, in certain areas. So I feel like to understand it 100% is to understand that it just has to be. You know what I'm saying? So in order to not be affected by it, you need to follow um, a regimen to create your body to not get ill from it, you know? Um, so that's what that is. And the wall, the Trump wall is probably, you know, um, going to be more like, he said it's an invisible wall. Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember when he was doing the speech and he said it's a wall or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be invisible. I mean, that sounds just like the imaginary um, frequency border. He said it's high tech. He said it's a smart wall. Okay. If y'all listen and pick up the wording, you have to really tune in to the words that he is choosing because they are very important. He said it's a see through. It is a see through smart wall. Okay. That sounds like the wall in Wakanda to me. So it's a force field, it's a frequency wall, it's a wall that people can't cross or they will start to deteriorate or get ill. That's the wall. And mhm. Star Goddess, do you believe in a higher power? I believe I am a part of a higher power. Yes. Source energy, of course. Everybody's part of a source energy. That's the does a raindrop believe in the ocean? Hmm. But they're both water. Right. And also, you if you have the DNA and if you have if, if the 5G is what allows the gods to return, then the DNA in you will also start to activate with this new frequency. You know what I mean? Um, it's kind of like in the movie Black Panther, the what do you call it? The stuff that he takes that creates and like alters his DNA, so where he becomes like invincible or something like that, or super strong. It's kind of like that. So it's the remember when the comet fell and it had the grew the plant and it was black and it had like this purple energy on Black Panther. It's kind of like the DNA that gets activated during the frequency of that comet or asteroid that landed that was giving off that frequency. So that's going to be what happens, to a lot of people, they're going to start seeing different talents emerge, different senses get stronger, their psychic ability may increase, their strength may increase. They may start seeing a faster rate of being able to learn. So it's just it could manifest in any way in the people. Hmm. But I also feel like a lot of people aren't going to know what's going on until it's too late. And when they finally start to ask the questions, it's going to be too late, you know. So I feel like that's why people need to stop being distracted so much to wonder why the sun hasn't shined in 4 days and why it's always cloudy and why when the sun does come out there's no clouds in the sky and why it's so extra bright. They're not asking these questions, which means they don't care, you see. And so if you don't care, then you're not an asset. You understand? You see? That's how it's going to be selected. If you don't care, you ain't a you ain't you it. So those are going to be the people that are not appreciating, understanding, aware, and it's going to be too late for when they finally realize what's actually happening. And if they are naturally defensive against what's going on, great. They'll figure it out. They'll learn. Somebody's going to tell them. But most people, it's going to be too late when they figure out what actually happened. I'm going to say happened, not even what's going on, because they're still not going to be believing it until they put on, like, you know, a source of information that's not from social media. You know, so and 5G causes opioid drug epidemic. That's so true. Because the pain, like a lot of people are going to start experiencing pain because of what 5G does. So then they'll start taking pain medication, which then, but see, this is why. Let me tell you why. It could work, but also could backfire. When you take pain medication, it releases chemicals in your brain that also produce more um, chemicals and melatonin and other chemicals that also produce more melanin. So that's another thing. The opioid consumption or the opioid epidemic will also help increase melanin, but then you'll be just a druggie. I don't know. You'll be maybe that's why Donald Trump is orange. He's trying to tell y'all something. Um, they started arresting doctors for prescribing. Yeah. Hmm. Do I believe Trump is the last president? Well, if the gods return to the planet, do you think anybody's going to listen to a president? I mean, he ain't got the answers. So that's what I'm thinking. You know, you're not a president anymore. If the gods return, what you called them? You need help? Okay, well then they're in charge. Um, what does it mean when you see the sun and the moon at the same time at 1 p.m. in the afternoon? It means the earth has shifted. You're probably closer to the equator than you were before. Um, mm, Hearing children's voices call your name while astral traveling. What does that mean? Um, a lot of times, the voice of kids is not really kids. Um, so you kind of got to understand that it's not really children. A lot of the times, energies at certain frequencies, they have a certain innocence to them. So they're their sound is going to reflect, who they are. So, could be in a place where there's a lot of energies, creative energies that are more on the innocent side of, being. The world looks to be at peace compared to the media. Exactly. Where do you buy your rings? Oh, all over. If I see one that I like, I buy a lot of them online. I just like Google the stone that I want, and then I look at the um, different places that sell them. Um, these are old though. These are special made by a jeweler. These were my mom's. Oh, she gave them to me. Um, how do you feel about hypnosis in order to heal childhood issues? I think that's what is keeping me from evolving. Um, I feel like I don't know the thing about living in the past and not being able to move forward. It's understanding that um, you lose today if you live in yesterday, and whatever happened is still affecting you because you're allowing it to. So for me, I would try to find, even though it's probably not easy, but I would try to find the good things that have occurred in my life, like Oprah. Like, let's use Oprah as an example. If those things never happened to Oprah, if she was never had any childhood, issues, she wouldn't have been the woman that she is today. So just try to think about how all things are cause and effect and have a purpose. I think it was like, you know, if you try to rewind time in every situation that occurred would not lead you to your best point, but a situation that occurred, even though it may have been negative, would be the only or one of the only avenues to lead you to your best place, then would you then understand it? You know what I mean? So you have to think of it on a timeline as to where it has it led you, and if it's your best outcome. You know what I mean? Because you can't take it away. You can't rewind it. You just have to be understanding that it's led you where you need to go. Okay. It's just like, if you had a horrible job, that mistreated you, you didn't get paid, maybe even have been assaulted or, harassed on it, but it led you to meet someone that got you the career of your dreams. You see? So you have to think about it like that. Can I decode the death of Enoch? The book says he didn't see death. Whenever it says I fell flat on my face and lost my loins, he died, you see, in his physical form. And then he would reincarnate again and he would be reborn. And then he would come back and he would continue. Like the whole book was written during his life outside of his body, you see. So a lot of people don't realize that. The book is written when Enoch is in between his physical lives, right? In between, as well as there's a little part, and then he dies and comes back and continues the story. So he lives several times. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Calvin. Hi, Shira. I had an astral projection experience not long ago. I saw a purple triangle gate while flying in space. Any thoughts on to what those gates are? Thanks. Could be like third eye symbolism. Um, could be third eye symbolism, like developing the ability to mm, go further into your consciousness or higher into your consciousness. Um, yeah, it's the portal to the third eye, right? So the next thing, did you go through it? I don't know. I would have gone through it. Hmm. So please speak on sleep paralysis. Everybody asks me this. Okay, it's just when your astral body doesn't return to your physical body in enough time for it, because remember, there's no time when you're unconscious. There's no time when you're unconscious. So your body is trying to catch up with your astral body because time doesn't exist. And when the few seconds that you're stuck is when the two bodies are merging back together. And then the concept of time then returns. It's all mental. Um, Thank you, Varying Redbeard. Great chat. Love your content. Support your creators. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, but yeah, that's all that is. There is heaven and hell. Yep. Heaven is the cosmos. Hell is inside of the earth near the core where it's hot, where your soul will probably return if you can't get hot enough to turn into the plasma and get activated by the ocean water to shoot up as a cosmic ray back into the ethers, or AKA the heavens. So, I mean, you're correct in a way. It's just more scientific than you think. you know, Sleep paralysis is a form of the old hag spirit being sent to people. Yeah, if you want to go to superstition. Think that's why a lot of people don't grow consciously because they stay stuck in superstition. You know, I would rather understand the science behind something than the superstition behind it, because then fear sets in and then it starts controlling you. And then you're limited once again in your thinking. So it's best to understand the scientific or the magic science, is what Thoth calls it. It's better to understand the magic science of something than the old wives' tales and superstition. Okay. Um, because that's where we are now. That's where we are. You're not going to be able to interpret what's going on when it starts happening with, you know, superstition. You're going to need the science and the occult and the information. Does James get jealous of you and Thoth relationship? James don't even know who Thoth is, okay? hmm And the relationship is just, I read the knowledge that he left. So if you call that a relationship, then I'm in a relationship with a lot of people because I read a lot. um, mhm. That's why the rich man needed just one drop of water in hell. Cause so he could get activated. And that's true. I mean, if you um if you really wanted to decode the Bible and you really wanted to learn what it actually meant, it can be broken down with science that that easily. But people don't want to understand that aspect of it because they like to judge and try to condemn people that they can't bring into their limited system of belief because they feel so powerless. If you feel powerless, you want other people who feel powerful to feel powerless with you. So you try to make them feel bad about their spiritual journey into higher learning and consciousness, that you want to bring them back into a religion that does not give you any power to and try to make them feel guilty about something such as learning. Sounds like slavery to me. So I really can't do that, but I can help them learn and to decode, their holy books and see what they're really trying to tell them. But I can't really go backwards, and that's kind of like graduating from college and someone telling you to go back to kindergarten. You know, it doesn't make sense for us. We're too beyond that. We know better. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help us. It's only going to make us want to go even further because of how silly it is. Or we'll just start decoding it for you. We'll start trying to teach y'all. So it's not really going to help to come in, this chat room talking about God and Jesus and repent and stuff because we're too far beyond that. We will help you. Okay. Do you need some help? you know? So the only thing that we can do is offer you help. You can't offer us anything. It's just not something that we need. Um, so I would like to give you some help in interpreting your own holy book since you don't know how to read it correctly. Um, mhm. Oh, so are the gods manifesting in physical form or spiritual form? It all depends. Shoot, I don't know what 6G is gonna do. Donald Trump is talking about 6G. I know 5G makes plasma more dense. The denser it gets, the more gravity it has that and the slower it vibrates to exist as you know, a physical thing. So we'll see. I don't know. That part we don't know yet, but we'll see. Mhm. More. Thank you, because I can't be seeing half of a man lions walking around there. I see that already. Like I saw that when I was a child. Like um that is their energy, you see. They're you see a half cat, half woman walking around, that represents their energy. A cat has uh, a negative electro. Uh, you know how you have electrons, protons, and neutrons. Okay, a cat will have will have neutrons, and so does a female. And also, a cat represents a lot of other, symbolic things. So these beings appear with these certain looks because they represent certain things that they're trying to translate to you because um, that's how they communicate telepathically and symbolically. That's why hieroglyphs are symbols. That's why, you know, whenever you see the gods with the pharaoh, and they're putting an ankh up to the pharaoh's nose, and what's in that ankh is the god's essence, the god's knowledge, the god's plasma being put into the seat of the soul, which is what the Egyptians called the nose. Um, they would put the ankh up to the nose of the pharaoh, and the plasma would be held inside of the circle because ankhs were oscillators. They were electric oscillators. So the oscillator would then shoot the plasma like an electrical shock into the pharaoh's nose and up into their pineal gland, and that pharaoh would then have the plasma and the knowledge of the gods. Okay, you can go and look on any Egyptian wall carving where you see the gods, and they're putting there's so many of them, putting the ankh up to the pharaoh, or the pharaoh's nose to transfer their information and to give them some of them themselves, to anoint them basically with. Right. So, mhm. And you have to understand, certain beings never die. You see, they just transform as a different sort of energy. So, When a human body dies, there's energies that are released into the atmosphere, and depending on the person, the energies can either stay on the planet or go back into the cosmos. And the energy is the plasma. It's the fourth state of matter. So, mhm, it's like the mm, right. How can you protect yourself when watching shows about spirits and ghosts, girl? Get a backbone. Stop being scared of everything. If you scared of shows, you don't want to be around with what's getting ready to go down now. Okay, you need to step outside of fear and understand, and really, the more you're afraid of something, the more you need to learn about it. Okay, the more you need to learn about it, because if you can't even watch scary movies, you in trouble. Hmm. You know what? Most of it is symbolic. It's something to just be interpreted. Like Sasha and I can watch horror movies all night because we're just going to interpret it. Oh, that's symbolic for this. That's symbolic for that. You know. So learn, get real educated on what these things are, what you are, who you are, because if you don't know who you are, you're going to be afraid of everything because you don't know who you are and what they are. So you're just walking around scared of everything. So get to know yourself and get to know other things. That's going to be your best weapon is knowledge. Hmm. Um, yeah, what's going down? I mean, the 5G and the returning of, you know, this information that's coming straight from the ninth dimension. Um, you know how Tesla was talking about the secrets to the universe are three, six, and nine? Well, the third dimension, the sixth dimension, and the ninth dimension. They have a lot of information for you. The third dimension is the earth, okay, the body, the mind, the third eye, okay. The sixth dimension is your pathway to, you know, into, eternity, um, time, time ceasing not to exist. And then the ninth dimension is organization back to balance, and also the completion of your evolution into a crystalline being. So that's what's happening right now. Like the 9G is about to start to kick in, and that's why everyone's trying to promote veganism and health and all this kind of stuff, so that people could be at their optimum health, so that they're able to evolve better in these situations. So you have a lot of people that don't believe it, and so it doesn't matter to them. You have people that do believe it and who understands it because they've been seeing and understanding these things since childhood, and they don't know anybody in any type of secret societies. They've never their parents were like church people, and if these things come natural to people and it lines up with science and it lines up with the occult and it lines up with what secret societies try to keep a secret, then there's something to it. You know what I'm saying? If the information is just coming out of nowhere, it's not really out of nowhere. It's, your frequency can pick up on and communicate with certain energies as well in the cosmos, so that you understand completely what's going on, you know. So that's why a lot of people just already know because they can feel it. Hmm. The word of God is the melanin. So listen, you don't even know how to interpret the Bible. I just really wish you would allow people to teach you something new, because what you're trying to read is a metaphor. You can't understand it. Okay, so George, let me ask you, the word of God is to be interpreted. Okay. So the word of God represents the dark matter, the dark energy, you see? And so you have to understand what you're reading. You don't have a clue. You're just regurgitating and repeating. You don't even know what it means. So it's not going to help anybody. You see? It's not going to help you if you don't know what it means. So, listen to the word of God. What does the word of God say? Don't judge others, right? It says that. Okay. Um, so are you listening to the word of God? Do not what else do the word don't hang around, don't learn anything new. A lot of that stuff says that don't read any other books, stay dumb. You know, you're not doing any of those things. George, you're disobeying. You're not even supposed to be here among us. Okay? You're not supposed to be here. This is evil. You are disobeying the rules. You're supposed to stay ignorant. So go back over there. Okay? That's not for you. But yet he's here every day, like a student. That's why I don't kick him out because I know he's really trying to learn, but his guilt starts kicking in and then he feels like he has to type something so that he doesn't go to hell. Or he doesn't go to hell. You better get you some chlorophyll and some melatonin. Okay. So, okay, Shira, I got a dream about three cats on your window and they were froze. I took them inside your house to warm them and keep them outside. What does this mean? Two of them were dark, the other one was white with a spot. Oh, that's kind of cool. So hmm, it probably just represents like the people coming together, Um black, white, and then the one with the spots. It's like the mixed one. And then the cold would probably be like the atmosphere, the weather, the that was affecting them, and you knew how to help them, and then that's kind of what it means in my opinion. And it could mean something else too, because there's many layers to dreams. If you look up what the cat means, and then you look up what the colors mean, and then you add it all together, and then you understand on a deeper level. But I don't have time to do that right now. But I just told you how to interpret it. Just go look up the symbols: cat, the colors, and then the window. Windows are basically like, portals. um, the space weather causing this weather, and also the tilt of the earth, the shifts of the earth. hmm Velvet is probably upstairs in my yeah. Velvet's all come back a long time ago. She gained weight and everything. She never left. She was hiding in my closet. Okay. hmm No, we're given power against demons. Okay. But you have no power against, because I'm not a demon, so it doesn't really matter. You have a pine cone wreath on your door so the gods can come in. Mhm. You see, it's not going to be like that. You know, it's not really going to be like that. I feel like it's going to be more of an education and a reconstruction of a system that needs to be torn down from the root. That's what it says. The entire system is going to be torn down. The whole government, the whole everything is going to be gone. Like according to the book of Enoch, anyway. And the one book they took out the Bible, not the one, but one of the books they took out of the Bible. In the book of Enoch, they said the entire system will be taken down and a better one and a new one will be rebuilt. Why? Because it doesn't work and it was built for your demise. It wasn't built for you, it was built for the wrong reasons. So that whole thing's going to get taken down and revamped over by more intelligent beings. Okay. Um, Mhm. So it's gonna work for people instead of against people, you see? Mhm. It was built by GMO. What? But wasn't Christian church okay with slavery? Yeah. Book of Enoch was um, not written in the Christian era. Jesus wasn't even a Christian. You know, they took the whole Bible and redid everything in it, and they took it to France, and they wrote in what they wanted to write. They took out what they wanted to take out, and slavery. A lot of those people profited off of slavery, so they made sure that part stayed in to put fear into people that were slaves. So to um, I guess make it okay, or for people not to be so upset because God said it was okay, you know? So I really don't put too much energy in the religion, but I do put my um, ability to decode the prophets. The prophet means they're telling you what's going to happen into the future, and the things are actually unfolding as it says in the book of Enoch. But you have to be able to interpret it. So, and you have to understand that the words that they chose do not mean what they really mean. You know, if you if you were reading this book and you saw the word the elect, you would think it was somebody who was elected. No, it means electric. The electric people, the people with the frequency on the electromagnetic scale that is higher. See, a lot of people don't know how to interpret, so they're going to just read it at face value. So that's all the information they're going to get. They're going to get like barely any. And the way that it's written is so genius because most people are not going to understand who they are in this whole scenario. And it puts fear into people who don't know themselves, you see. It puts fear into people that don't know themselves because the people that understand this know exactly what it means, but the people that don't, then they start to fear, and then they start to think all these different thoughts, and they have no clue what the book even says anymore. So mhm. Cryptocurrency, digital currency, get some gold. That's what I plan on doing, or some real estate or something. But it's good to do small transactions, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it right now, you know. Jorge, you're right. You know, you said whites own this world. You're right. This not our home. You know, we don't have to stay here. So we just visit and come back as we choose. That's the whole point. But their home is getting ready to be gone. So then what? They're destroying their own home. So then what? They have to call back the people who what created it, and those aren't the white people. Those are, you know, the cosmic dark lord beings. So if they can't take care of their own home and it has to be fixed, then what? You think it's going to be their home if they can't keep it together, right? Okay. The weather is crazy, right? If you're still thinking in terms of white and black, you have a long way to go still. Um, I don't think in terms of I think in terms of it's the entire system is based on the amount of electricity you have or the amount of melanin you have in your body, that's what's going to determine a lot of things in the very near future. So it's not about black and white, it's about what they lied to you about for so many years. The human race was supposed to be all mixed by now. There were not supposed to be white people anymore because the Bible, the book of Enoch, all the holy scriptures were telling people to mix. But a lot of the religions took it out. That's why they took the book of Enoch out, because that's what it tells you to do. They took it out so that they can keep, thank you, Betty J. I appreciate that. So that they can keep their power, you see. Um, so they lied to everyone. And the books that were taken out are the very books that were telling the human race to mix, or they would be in danger in the future. They wouldn't be able to evolve to the next level. So it's not me, it's your government, it's your religion. Why do you think they're pushing interracial relationships on every commercial, on every ad, and every show? Because now they have to. You see, well, the black people don't have to mix. You know what I'm saying? So it's the people that have less melanin that need to mix so that they can get more melanin. And that's exactly what it is about. And that's what people don't understand. You see? So if something was telling you something thousands of years ago, and it was, or hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of years ago, or even thousands of years ago, and it was taken out and you didn't know, you know, then all of a sudden you start reading it and then you realize why they took it out. And now that it's like, wow, I'm so upset that they lied and didn't tell us this. Um, mhm. It is evolution. So it really does boil back down to black and white. And everybody talks about Michael Jackson singing that song, it don't matter if you black or white, but they forgot the other part of the sentence. If you want to be my baby, it don't matter if you black or white. That means I will mix with you. Come on, Shimon. Okay. If you're thinking about being my baby, it don't matter if black or white. You see? So that's why he had all those people morphing into each other. And at the end, they morphed into the one black woman. You see? So everyone wants to hear what they want to hear, but they don't listen or read the correct words. And the correct words is what most people don't even listen to. And they miss the whole entire point and the meaning. hmm 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 Um, so the whole point was to mix the race. hmm I believe the Kardashians are very smart. Yeah, that's the Kardashians are trying to do. Um, so that's why I have to correct people that come up on my channel and say that it's not about black and white, because it actually was. And we weren't ever supposed to be against each other. That's the whole point. Or we never were supposed to be, you know, this long separated. It should have been mixed a long time ago. hmm Audrey McLean. I'm gonna have to guess. Um, why mix? Because okay, If you're black, if you're melanated, if you're dark Latino, you don't really have to mix because you're good. You got melanin. You're safe. Okay. The people with the recessive genes that have the least amount of melanin need melanin to survive and evolve into the next, you know, phase, because the sun, if you haven't noticed, when it does come out, when they stop spraying these clouds, is super extra bright. You know what I mean? The UVB radiation is going to give less melanated people cancer. The 5G frequency is going to cause less melanated people lots of issues because it is a radioactive energy. And darker people with melanin absorb the radioactive energy, the UVB radiation, and it empowers them and activates their DNA. So they're not harmed, you see. So that's why the people were supposed to mix, because the sun is getting is brighter. The So the weather is going to change, and also a lot of people aren't going to be able to handle these new changes that the earth is going through because they need melanin. And that's why the all the books in the Bible, a lot of the books in the Bible that were taken out were some of the ones that tell you to mix for those children. Even in the book of even in the Emerald Tablets, it says the children of the sun, or the children of the light, shall pour their son upon the children of man, or which means less melanated. The sun represents the electromagnetic frequency of melanin. So they were telling you to mix in alchemy. I mean, what do you think alchemy is? It's a combination of different things to become um, at your highest potential. So it's called the great work. It's the same thing. You Um, you take some elements and you mix them together and you come out with the philosopher's stone. You take a bunch of stuff and mix it together and you come out with what? One. So it's not your fault that they lied to you, but now that the truth is out, now you can understand and see why these things are happening and why the Kardashians are having a bunch of kids with black men, because they know it's getting ready to happen. A lot of the elites and the rich and this, they're adopting black children. They're becoming vegan because, like I said, plant-based foods, leafy greens and plants also have melanin. So the more leafy greens and like carotenoids that you eat, your body starts to produce more melanin. But still, in order to let your bloodline live on, you must mix with a melanated race. That's all there is to it. Like, they hide it from you, but then now they're pushing it down your throat on the TV. You see, they hid it, and they hid it for centuries, and at the last minute, they're trying to shove it down your throat. So that's why. Hmm. Hmm. In what ways will people get sick from 5G? Well, it depends because it affects people differently. Um, One way that it affects people is, okay. So melanated skin holds in more moisture. It holds in moisture and water for a long time. Less melanated skin, the moisture can be depleted, especially when it's exposed to UVB radiation or low frequencies. So it will cause that water to evaporate fast, which will then cause radiation burning, similar to what you get when you do chemotherapy. So their skin is going to burn even if the sun is not out if there is 5G. So extra moisture, extra drinking a lot of water, you know, not being around 5G is going to be your best bet. But if you are, you have to really hydrate, keep your skin moist at all times because you don't have the protection that needs that your skin needs in order to not be affected by the radiation. Okay, so that's one thing. Hmm. But why do they want to kill us, the black race, if they need to mix? It's not about wanting to kill black people. It's the anger and the resentment and the upset aspect of being lied to and feeling a false sense of superiority. You see, it's a difference. It's like they were taught to not like you. They were taught these things. They didn't wake up racist. They weren't born racist. They were taught these things. And when you're taught racism, um, you don't know why you actually are racist. It boils all the way back to we can leave, they can't. You know what I'm saying? We can, uh, we we are able to adapt when when they can't. That's why they wanted to keep a lot of things segregated because they didn't want to be compared with each other. Like as soon as they integrated sports, I mean, you saw what happened. Um, the basketball, the football. That's why they wanted to keep things separate so that you would never understand that they did need you. You understand? So it's a false sense of superiority and um, not understanding or knowing because they've been lied to. That's all it is. It's just people have been lied to. Thank you, SBT. Sure, thanks for your work. Off topic. This is wrong channel, lady. But thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Um, please save that one for the other channel, and I'll try to answer it. I like to stay on topic. I'm so sorry. Um, so yeah, you grew up racist when you were little. Wow. Because it's taught. Hmm. Copper does help with melanin production. So it is it's a false sense of superiority. And when okay, because a lot of people will say, I don't think, they look at you. A white person will look at a black person or a Latino person and don't think that they're supposed to have a nice lifestyle if it's better than theirs because of that false sense of superiority. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So that in it of itself is a little bit racist. Because yeah. Hmm. So if you feel like, oh, a black person shouldn't have more than a white person, that's because it was ingrained into you through racism, a false sense of superiority, and you being lied to about everything, especially in religion. um, why do they want to kill us, the black race? They don't want to kill the black race. What they want to do is keep the black race with a sense of inferiority and put fear into them. You understand? It's yeah, that's not why, because without us this earth would not exist, you see. So the without the yeah, the earth wouldn't exist. Do I ever get scared about talking about this stuff? Scared of what? Not really. Like I don't get scared. I don't work for anybody. I can't get fired. I Because I don't want to get hired. Okay. Yeah, I don't get scared. Um, I have so many wigs. People don't know who I am. Okay. 93% of the earth is black. Just travel to see for yourself. I'm pretty sure that's true. Is that why it said that they harvest our organs? Well, yeah, organs there are your organs are stronger. Mhm. And what was the reason for keeping us in feeling inferior, but now they want to mix interracial? Well, the people that know wanted to keep their power as long as possible until it was absolutely necessary to mix. But the people that don't know are now just learning, just like the rest of you know the world. But so there's two different you know scenarios: the people that knew and the people that didn't know. Hmm. Um, And it's also a fact of knowing. Like even if you're less melanated and you understand and know this, that's an that's a benefit in itself. Hmm. I wondered about that. Thank you for answering. Right. What states don't have 5G? I don't even know. You have to do your research. Thank you, Elena Swans, for the donation. I appreciate it. And like the little hearts. I think all states are going to have it eventually because Donald Trump is calling for it, and he don't wait for people to vote. He just goes and signs some papers and make it happen. So I don't know if they're going to be in all states or some states. I know some countries have outlawed it, so you may have to find the countries that have actually outlawed it. There's some neighborhoods that have won cases to not have 5G put in their neighborhood, but as soon as you drive outside of the neighborhood, then you're exposed to it. So I don't know. Mhm. George, do you even know how to interpret that prayer? He's praying in here. If I interpreted that prayer for you, you would be upset about what it really means. He's saying the Lord's Prayer. The Zika virus, why did they do it to the poor babies? I don't know. Government testing, they do it a lot, you know, test the virus on people. They said black people die from it because they're less likely to seek treatment. Um, Probably. Or they'll just become immune to it. Um, do you think the 5G people getting into arguments? Do you think the 5G has people getting into arguments? It depends on if you see, if you know, then you are able to control yourself at a better, better your emotions. If you don't know what's going on, then you let any and everything influence you. So it could make people out of balance. I know it's making a lot of people depressed. I know it makes a lot of people, like I said, drinking and smoking weed will enhance the effects of 5G as well as the UVB radiation. So that's why I told y'all to cut down on it a lot because it will amplify those things. Mhm. If you drink, if you smoke weed, stop, and you won't be as affected by the 5G or the UVB radiation. Thank you, Soul B. Reading Idiot's Guide to Alchemy, Way of Hermes book, Enoch, has really helped me. Thank you. I feel finally on the right path to gaining knowledge. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you, girl. I'm glad you read those books. Very knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge in there, so you'll be very knowledgeable after that. Hmm. As we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from all evil. Um, that's talking about the same thing I'm talking about. Forgive those that have been against you, and don't let them lead you back into temptation. You see, that's what started the whole thing off in the first place. Um, um, so you're correct, George. What is this 5G y'all speak about? You know what 5G is? Internet, the internet frequency, the new one that they're trying to put up everywhere. That's supposed to be harmful, low electromagnetic frequencies. God, I gotta look up this prayer because y'all want me to interpret it for real. Okay, because I forgot it. I used to be Catholic when I was a child because my mom was Catholic. I totally forgot everything. The words anyway. The Lord's Prayer. Let's see. Our Father who art in heavens, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed, unseen, unseen dark matter is hallowed, void. Be thy name. The word of God is dark matter. Told y'all. Thy kingdom come. Your kingdom will come to earth, and your will be done. Thy will be done. Heavens, cosmic energy, cosmic beings, dark energy, dark matter. As above, so below. Okay. Give us this day our daily bread. The sun feeds melanin. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive us like we forgive those who are against us for falling into their traps. Okay. Um, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For this thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Because after all of those temptations leave, it's just us left. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's what this means. Like, you know, they already know they already understand what's going on, and they're letting you know, as above, so below. As um, give us this day our daily bread. The day has the sun. The daily bread is the energy from the sun. So it all goes back to that. Right. So whenever you saying prayers and stuff, all you're doing, I said every religion basically um out acknowledges the dark matter and the melanin and the sun and the energy. Every religion, they just don't understand what they're reading, you know. Um Hallowed be thy name. I mean, what is that? Right? Do I think 5G causes violence and arguments in relationships? I think it causes people to not. If you're drinking and smoking weed, it's going to amplify your emotions and your depression. Yes. If you're not smoking weed and drinking alcohol, then it's like your emotions are probably going to be out of whack and out of balance if you can't normally control them already. That's why like I said, it's survival of the fittest of mind and the fittest of body, because the fittest of health, and mind, body, and soul. It has to be all. Okay. So get your mind right, get your health right, get your soul right, which is supplementing so that you can become crystalline. Get your mind right, which is balancing your emotions, and get your health right. Um, and get your soul, body, and mind right, and you'll be fine. You know, if you're arguing a lot, why are you even arguing? You know, what are you fighting over? If you have to be with a person you got to fight over, then maybe that's not the correct person. You know what I mean? Um, mhm. Thank you. God's love is melanin, okay, George. So I'm already, I'm well loved, okay. You know how the Carters have that album, "Everything Is Love." That's what that actually means. Mhm. Like I said, especially the Christian religion, they hide it in plain sight, but then they don't tell you until, they won't tell you. You have to figure it out. Mhm. What if you're a caregiver for a person with dementia? How do you balance? Um, I don't know. I've never been a caregiver to anybody that had dementia, so I don't know. I think I would just hire somebody to take care of them. Like I would hire a nurse, because I'm not able to do those type of things, if I don't feel like I'm going to benefit and be balanced afterwards. So I will hire somebody to do that. The love to share. Thank you, light production, no, light protection, progress, and evolution to you and the spirits that help you. Oh, thank you. Um, if they have dementia, give them coconut oil, a spoon a day. It relieves my grandpa so much from his Alzheimer's. Oh, okay. So coconut oil helps. That's good to know. Hmm. My father was Arab Jew, and he told you about Enoch. Cool. Um, you extra white with freckles, and I'm just out of luck besides supplements. LOL. Um, I think there's gonna be like, honestly, what I think really is going to occur is that the the area where it's going to be the brightest, which is where the sun is going to be shining, where the UVB rays are going to be um, the most, and the ozone is going to be the thinnest, and where the 5G is going to be, there are going to be areas where it's not going to be as bright, and there is no 5G. So when I don't know, whenever those places are discovered, I think a lot of people will start moving in that direction, or supplementing as much as possible, or not, like, not being um, exposed as long or as much. But it's not going to be something that can be totally avoided. You're just going to have to figure out the best way to supplement until um, you can't supplement anymore. So I feel like it's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? And people are going to have time to figure out if they want to live in a certain area or not. So when the shift is complete, the weather will probably start getting to a point where to the new norm, so the weather changes so much right now because we're still shifting. When we get to the point where the shift is um, at a point where it's not going to be shifting as much, then you can kind of see where the weather is going to be and how the sun looks over here versus how it looks over there. And I think people are going to do a lot of relocating when it comes down to certain issues. Hmm. You just ordered phase one. So excited. Thank you. How do we shield ourselves from the 5G? I've been craving some sun. Um, if you have melanin, and 5G, just drink a lot of water, stay moisturized, don't smoke and don't smoke weed, don't drink a lot of alcohol. Supplement, omega 3. Like I have it on all my videos. Just go look up how to supplement um for 5G. I think it's like they'll give you like a list of vitamins and stuff to take. Also, my elixirs, and I have copper, which also helps produce more melanin. Silver, which helps your immune system stay good. The gold, which helps you vibrate at a higher frequency, and it's also a conductor, as well as the platinum. Gives you lots of creativity and stuff like that. So supplementing, taking vitamins, drinking water, making sure that you're emotionally balanced, and you'll be fine. Just make sure you're aware that um, if you live by a 5G tower, that's what you need to do. Hmm. Chlorophyll too. Yeah, copper, omega 3, tyrosine, silver. Yep, Jamie got it. Take all of that. You're a pothead hippie with a professional career on balanced duality. um, well, if pot is like a depressant, and like I said, the frequencies from 5G and the UVB radiation causes depression as well. So if you're on a depressant and you have frequencies causing depression, then that could be damaging to your mental health as well. So be careful. I don't know what the new weather is going to look like. I mean, if it's a pole shift, then it's going to look like the opposite. But I'm not 100% sure when it's going to be done. It might take for you know, a long time. I don't know. But I feel like people are going to move according to where they are more comfortable with the weather, because that's usually what happens. Hmm. Global warming is not real. Global shifting is real, as well as climate change. That's why they stopped using the word global warming and they started using climate change. Because when the climate changes, it's because the you are in a different climate. You see how they use the play on words. If the Earth is shifting and you wind up in a different climate, then it's not global warming. It's climate change because the Earth shifted. Hmm. And you'll always see like Donald Trump trying to tweet, "Well, where's this global warming at with these blizzards and kind of stuff like that?" It's because we're shifting. Hmm. Right. The coral reefs are really going to be gone. I don't. I guess it's going to be cold where it's usually hot and hot where it's usually cold. Could be. Um, You hope Chicago shift to warm weather all year round. Mhm. It would make sense why there was a lot of people, like, and especially in the Americas, it would make sense of why there was like the most, what do you call it? Advanced civilizations near the equator, you know, because the equator used to be on the same line as a lot of the ancient civilizations. That was then the earth shifted, but all of the ancient civilizations that walked among the gods were once shifted on right on the equator, and I think that's what we're shifting back to where all the ancient pyramids line up with Machu Picchu, with this what's that place in India, and then just there's all these different sacred spots on the globe that all line up on the equator when the Earth is shifted at a particular degree or different angle. Hmm. So that's what's probably going to happen, and we'll see what happens after that. Well, Africa is so big, I don't think it will really even affect. Africa is so big, you know. So if you were to shift, then I guess South Africa would be more like North Africa, right? It makes sense now if you think about Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt and how they were actually reversed. You know, you would think Upper Egypt would be north versus Lower Egypt, but it's the exact opposite because they were once on a different angle and probably flipped, which is probably why the Nile River runs in that direction, opposite. Hmm. You're saving your soul from hell. Well, good luck with that. Mhm. See, that's one thing that most Christians don't understand. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't have what it takes to leave hell, then that's where you're going to stay. Unless you go back into the source energy to be reborn through a melanated body back on the planet. You see, that's the only thing that's going to save you is, you know how they say the blood of Jesus or through the body of Christ you will be saved. That's the only way. The body of Jesus was black. Only through the body of a Christos being will you be saved. So either you have to reincarnate, which means you have to go into the after you get to the center of the earth where the fire and lava and all that stuff is, there's a vortex in there, which is kind of like a black hole. And you would have to go in there to be reincarnated through the cosmos, through the universe. And then you would have to then be reborn through a woman on who is melanated and come back as a melanated being through the body of Christ, through the blood of Christ, you can be free and saved. That's what that means. Okay. So if you don't have enough melanin to be activated, your plasma to be activated in the core of the planet Earth, to then be activated by water to turn into a cosmic ray, you will remain there until you figure out to go into the darkness to be reborn into a melanated body. Otherwise, everything that you're doing is in vain. I keep telling you guys that. You're just doing it in vain. Hmm. There is no disobeying God or anything. Do what you want. We don't care. Do what you wanna do. Um, you thought every race has melanin. Yeah, but you don't have enough. Like some people don't have enough in order to survive the what's gonna eventually happen. Um, you see, the sun is getting much brighter, right? That radiation from the sun is not good for less melanated people. So that's why you see, mixed race, mixed race, mixed race, interracial couple on TV, commercial here with mixed kids, interracial relationship on the movie, interracial relationship in your favorite TV show. They're trying to push to mix the race because the melanin is what is going to prevent people from getting ill, sick, UVB radiation poisoning when the sun gets even brighter, you know. So that's what it is. You don't have to convert to occultism. All you got to do is, like when you die, go into the darkness. That's all you got to do. I told y'all go into the darkness if when you die, unless if you're activated by the heat, your plasma will rise into through the waters, and then you will become a cosmic ray and shoot off back into the ethers if you have enough melanin. If you don't, then go into that darkness, go into that black hole, and be reborn through the cosmos. And you're good either way. But you just got to figure it out. You got to know what you got to do. But then, because in religion, they teach you, oh, go towards the light, don't go into the darkness. You see, they're keeping you from being reborn through the cosmos, and so you stay in that cycle forever. Y'all remember when on Constantine, when Keanu Reeves went to quote unquote hell, it looked like a sun or the center of the earth or like a place of fire, or the core of the earth, and all those people were suffering and they didn't know how to leave. So you have to, if you don't know how to leave, then you're stuck there, you see. And you, until you figure it out, you can't leave. So George, I just helped you. And when you wind up around that fire, go into the darkness. There's a black dark spot in the dark hole. Go in there. Okay. You'll be good. And you'll remember me too. Anyway, then you'll be like, oh dang, that crazy lady was right. Don't go into the darkness then. Stay right into the fire. See, people give you a different definition of the afterlife. It's different for people. It's different for a lot of people. Because once that DMT wears off, and you're after like 3 days, you'll see where you really are. You know what I mean? After 3 days, 3 days after death, you will find out where you really are. Hmm. Right. Lady Crystal, you're becoming dark tan. Good for you. It could also be your mentality that you understand and you know these things, and so your body is, reacting to it. It's totally possible. Hmm. They say on the third day he rose. Yep. He rose after the third day and he realized where he was. That's why before you can get cremated, They keep your body for 72 hours in the funeral business. Hmm. God created us out of sand. He created y'all out of sand, not us. See, there's two type of beings on the planet: the ones that were created from clay, and the ones that were created from cosmos. So the children of the earth, earth is sand and dirt, right? And the children of the sun, which is the plasma, which was thus created from dark matter. So there's two types of people on earth. You was created from sand, but not melanated people, you know. But that's okay because that's why in the Emerald Tablets it says the children of the earth and the children of the sun. There's two types of people. That's it. You got to get your plasma t-shirt ASAP. The plasma. I need to order me one too. I don't even have one, and I created that. hmm Why are people donating plasma? That's not the type of plasma I'm speaking of. That's like blood plasma. I'm talking about the fourth state of matter, plasma, which is um, an electric matter. Yeah, like lightning, static electricity, the plasma balls. You ever seen those little plasma balls that people play with, and they have like the little static electricity on it? That's plasma. hmm hmm So that's what it is, and you know, y'all can't really get upset. Y'all shouldn't be upset at the information. Y'all should be upset to the people who lied to you guys. You know, not the people that's trying to tell you guys the truth, but the people that lied to you for so long. Because if they hadn't lied to you since the day you were born, you would already know all of this stuff and would have done a lot more to prepare for the time that is approaching. You know, you would have been um, making what totally different decisions, treating people totally different, living totally different, and so the anger should be more towards those people that lied to you, those religions that lied to you, those you know leaders that lied to you. It shouldn't be directed at the people who are trying to give you the truth. That's it. Yeah. Or at least less of a lie than what they gave you because no one knows the absolute truth about everything. But, you know, mhm. If you really think about it, the people that um, have done so much research, who are in the secret societies, who understand all this knowledge as well, they know, but they're not going to tell everybody because they want to keep a certain amount of power. So they're not going, they don't even care enough about their own people, to even tell them or warn them. They just, that's how bad they are. They don't even care because they would rather have power than save their own people, you see. So now at the last minute, they're pushing the race mix thing. So now they care about the people more because they see the power is leaving. So once the power starts to dissolve and the power starts to leave, then they want to save the people, but or to tell the people, but they still haven't told them the truth. So they're trying to push it through influence through the media, because more people pay attention to the media and the Kardashians and rather than the sun in the sky that's about to get more intense. They're looking at, oh well, the Kardashian did this, so I'm gonna go do that instead of looking up, you know, um, or doing research or reading a book. So that's why they and then yeah, the Meghan Markle thing. Yeah. So that's what is being pushed right now, and people don't even realize why. And once the truth becomes mainstream, then people are going to be upset at the correct people for keeping it alive. I mean, keeping it, hidden. Mhm. Mhm. Do you think science will become like religion? No, because science won't become like religion. Religion was created to explain science to people who aren't able to comprehend scientific terms, you know? Um, so it's kind of like a story to explain quantum physics, electromagnetic frequency, um, you know, astrology, cosmology. Religion was a story to tell science. And once the people got smart enough again or awake enough again to see that the story is science, then the science would come back out and the people who are, smart enough to interpret it would then start to teach the other people. And the religion was only to carry the science so the science could not be destroyed. You see? So the religion was a vehicle to keep the knowledge safe and to keep, the knowledge around and somewhat intact, but to always go back to the source, which is Egypt, and get the original story. So it just backs it up. It's just like a check off. Like, okay, that checks off, that checks off. That doesn't check off, so that probably changed that part of it. But it's all science and alchemy. So um when you can decode and understand all these things, then you don't see religion as something um like that you must follow. It's just science. And it's just what's going to happen, what's happened before, what will happen again. What are the signs that these things are going to happen? Because the earth works in a cycle. So if it's already happened, it could happen again. And here are the signs when it happened with us. So it's going to be the same type of signs that's going to happen with you. So here's the science of it. This is what the sky's going to look like. This is what the sun is going to look like. This is what the moon is going to look like during this time. Then it's time for the shift. And here's what's going to happen. That's all religion is telling you in a story. But if you're not able to interpret it, you won't understand it. It's all science. Okay. So, mhm. What do you believe in, Shira? I believe in the source energy, which does come from the cosmos. You see, the heavens is what they call it in the Bible, or heaven, which is not anywhere in a white cloud. The heavens are in the cosmos, which is dark. So you got to understand when they speak of the heavens, they mean the cosmos. Okay. Hmm. And once people start to understand this, they'll just take off. They'll be like, "Wow, what else can I learn?" Mhm. Anyway, they wanted me to expand my intelligence quotient even more by their programs. Wow, who's they? Thank y'all. So at the end of the day, the people that know more are probably going to have a better chance of being healthier and more abundant during the shift. The people that know less is probably going to have the most suffering. So with the information, prepare, do what you need to do, supplement, be healthy, pay attention to the stuff that really matters and not the stuff that doesn't matter, and try to Do what's best for you and your feeling. That's all. Right. Oh, Scientology wanted you to raise your IQ. What? Yeah, Scientology, I never really read any of that stuff. Um, Anything that looks like a cult, I don't want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I did see that special where that Leah chick, she was talking about how you have to write letters and if you've misbehaved and you have to write apology letters to people. I was like, oh, no, thank you. hmm People are already acting and driving crazy. Lots of accidents. Wow. Why would there be jealousy? The gods are higher advanced beings. They're not humans. You see, um, and they're aspects of self. They're aspects of consciousness. You know what I mean? Um, it's kind of hard to kind of explain all this to people that are just waking up. These gods appear on a frequency. They are a frequency. We are a part of them. They are a part of us. They are a way of thinking. You know, they are an aspect of us. And so, um, if any part of ourselves are at war with each other, then it would make sense. But um, that's why we're we're given knowledge, we're learning, we're supposed to evolve because these energies are here to give us higher knowledge, which is the same thing as evolving and becoming your higher self as a human is supposed to do. So as above, so below, as within, so without. If the human species is starting to evolve, and seek their higher selves, and their higher selves are going to manifest. You see, so that's what it is. And anything that is not beneficial to your evolution is going to fall away. You remember how in the Bible or in other books it says the old heaven and earth will fall away and the new one will come. It's a new consciousness. So that's all it is. So anything that's non-beneficial, anything that's against you, anything that's not for your higher being or your higher frequency is not going to come. It's not going to be a part of the um, evolution. Um, so it's all depending on you. hmm What about offers to the gods? They don't need anything from you. They need you to wake up. That's what they need, you know? Okay. See, a lot of y'all are going to already be, y'all just need to go watch my older video. Well, my videos from like at least the last couple of months. Um, because like, for example, if stuff were to start happening next week, do you know how many people would be panicked, killing themselves, you know, driving off the freeway? Do you know? That's why it's so important to learn. Mhm. What about the part in the Bible where it says it will no longer come up in the mind or heart? Mhm. The past, exactly. Um, thank you. I don't think, you know what? I really think the knowledge is what is most needed. People are worried about the wrong thing. How do I give offerings? How do I worship it? No. Learn. Learn. That's your best offering is learning. Mhm. Mhm. Read a book, learn about them. You know, just like on that movie, The Arrival, people were trying everything they could to communicate with those beings that came. And it took the lady who was trying to learn about them to learn their symbols and how to communicate with them. You know, and she's the one that saved everything because she was basically trying to learn instead of reacting and, being violent and trying to figure out old ways that never worked or didn't work. So you have to think in a whole new way. It's not about worship. It's not about offering anything. It's about learning and getting the information, you know, that kept um, the old world, ancient Egypt, for 5,000 years in abundance and peace. Okay. That's what they're coming back to teach and to help people evolve to. Okay. They don't need to be worshiped, they don't need no offerings. They just want to organize and get the planet back how it was. In order to do that, they have to come in and clean it up and fix it and organize it and balance it back out. That's it. That's basically it. Hmm. Um, George, you're not even understanding what God and gods are. You're just not very smart. I'm sorry to tell you. Why do you think God said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me"? Because there are other gods. You understand? That means there's more than one. Otherwise, why would God be jealous? You see? So your own Bible is telling you there are other gods before before. And he doesn't want you to be a part of what they're teaching. Why? Because he's jealous. Okay? Why? I don't know. Hmm. Exactly. Why would God say, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness"? Because there's more than one. Yay, Shakir. Uh-huh. So, according to your own Bible, there is more than one God. Um, and there's a source energy from where all things come from, but then there are many gods and goddesses. Okay. So go read your Bible and go figure that part out. I'm building energy boxes with my what? War rods and scepters protecting my babies. Oh, okay. Hi, sure. I've been noticing so many things that you're pointing out. There. was a makeup video posted. Some magazine entitled "Summon the Gods with Eyebrow Hack." It was weird. Yup. That's what's getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, they're trying to finish. That's what the whole 5G thing is. That's why Donald Trump is trying to get it up everywhere because that's to bring them back. And imagine if Donald Trump was the one to bring them back. Y'all know he had all of that Tesla knowledge, and his uncle was what connected to getting Tesla's information, and Tesla had met with them and talked about how all these things worked and what they could do. So they have all that inside information that you don't have. They know things you don't know, and that's why they don't wait on people to vote. They just go ahead and move forward because that's 9G energy. That's nine-dimensional energy. They don't wait. They go. You know what I'm saying? There is no waiting for people to vote. There is no this or that. There's executive orders. That's what it is. That's the energy he's moving in, you know. Um, that ninth dimensional energy. hmm And like I said, in order to understand that, you got to understand ninth dimensional beings. A Wrinkle in Time could be a good base level starter book for kids. Yeah. Um, I never saw Cabin in the Woods. I'm sorry. Snow in Las Vegas, right? Well, I gotta go, y'all. It's been a while. Been on here forever. But thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, you just watched a bunch of movies scare me. They claim that all the gods are demons. Depending on who you are, that's the whole thing about it. Y'all have to understand we are not all the same. And I don't know why people keep trying to tell y'all that. Your gods could be Our gods could be your demons. Our demons could be your gods. So I don't understand why people are not understanding this. But the reason that they hid a lot of information from you was because they did not want you to understand what you were supposed to do while on this planet. Okay. So to some people, they could be negative, and to some people, they're positive. You understand? Because by the time they were supposed to return, everybody was supposed to be mixed. You understand? Everybody's supposed to be mixed by now. And your religions and governments kept you from understanding that was the plan. God's plan. I might go down as God. Drake song, Drake is mixed. Um, Divide and conquer was their plan, right? So just because someone didn't give you the information doesn't mean that other people and in the other plans didn't stop. You know what I mean? It's just like somebody coming to pick you up to take you somewhere, and they left a message and told them that your roommate that they're on the way, and your roommate didn't tell you, and you sitting there still in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Unprepared, can't go. So that's the whole point. They lied in order to keep their power, and you became the sacrifice. Or until the last minute. Now they want when Donald Trump became president. Now the truth starts to come out even more, even though it's in code and people are reacting strangely to it because he can't come straight up and say it. So when he starts making these executive decisions and executive orders, he's trying to move fast for a reason. hmm Okay. Well, thank y'all for watching. I just want to answer that Last question that someone had asked. There are two forms of elites, Kita. There's two separate parties, not two separate parties. There's two separate elites. Okay. Donald Trump is a part of a different set of elites that are for 5G, but he also is for other things. So he understands to fix everything, the gods have to return, or these entities with this knowledge have to return. They're all too different, and in order to keep other people from overreacting, he has to appear and act a certain way in order to hurry up and finish the preparation for the return. You see, if he can get 5G up, if he can get the invisible Wakanda wall built, you know what I'm saying? Then great. Hmm. Please stop asking me about Jesse. I don't care. It's a distraction, you guys. I don't even watch Empire. No. Right. Two elites with two different agendas. Exactly. How can you stop G5, 5G in your neighborhood? Um, First of all, if it's a nice neighborhood, then you have to get a bunch of people together that have money, hire a lawyer, and then go and file to your um, city. I don't know, something like that. Go research it. I know some people have done it, but you're gonna need some money. Hmm. I think 5G is gonna be all around. So I don't know, because they're putting them up every week. So you might move, and they might put one up the next day. You don't know. Um, but wouldn't his plan on bringing the gods back affect him in a negative way? What's going on? Y'all don't realize that Trump is orange for a reason? Y'all do y'all remember the story about how this woman got fired for trying to sneak because she couldn't successfully sneak the tanning bed into the White House? Okay. He's trying to get some melanin too. Um, and who knows what supplements he's taking? Who knows what he's doing? If he knows, then he's doing something. I promise you. That's why he don't care if people call him a Cheeto or orange. He like y'all gonna wish y'all had some orange skin soon. So I don't know. You know the frequency of orange. Yeah, he was trying to sneak. He was trying to secretly sneak um, the tanning bed into the White House without the media seeing it. Right. And then the whole Omarosa thing, you know, why is he doing this? Because he's trying to fix everything. The only way to fix something is to bring in the experts, and those are the gods, the ones who helped build Kemet. I mean, didn't they always want America to be like Egypt? And isn't that why they have all the pyramids and stuff and obelisks everywhere? Did they want that in the first place? You know, didn't they already try? But they didn't bring in the gods. The, they didn't walk among the gods. So now that the elite parties or the elites have shifted, and Donald Trump is part of a separate type of elite, They are the ones that wanted to make, that's why he says make America great again, because the original founders were really into the stuff from Egypt, and they wanted America to be like Egypt. And so, in order to bring the gods back, to teach them how to correctly make America like Egypt once was, they have to bring in that frequency. Okay, so it's crazy, but that's what's going down. That's what's happening. Hmm. Do you think he would be the so-called antichrist? No, because he's not antichrist anything. That's Christ means crystalline. He's not anti-crystalline anything. He's probably more pro-crystalline than anything, because he's trying to evolve people, into the crystalline um, frequency. Hmm. What? Just saw a 5G transmitter box on your phone pole. First one you've seen in your area. Yeah, they're getting ready to go up everywhere because they're trying to create the frequency. Um, so just understand that's what's going down. No one's the antichrist. The only thing that's any antichrist is anyone trying to keep you from your evolution or your evolving consciousness. That's the antichrist. Anybody that's trying to keep you from becoming a crystalline being. Um, so once you realize that, then you don't have to worry about if it's one single person. It could be a lot of people. It could be, you know, people that want to keep you distracted with news stories. It could be all of those things that are to keep you off of your um, focus on your higher frequency. Hmm. Will 5G affect the whole world? If the whole world gets 5G, because I think it's outlawed in some countries. I'm not sure, because I know that some countries have voted against having it. So I don't think it exists in all countries. Thank you. Um, mhm. Mark of the beast, can't buy, can't sell. Um, can't buy, can't sell. Okay. Don't fall for the media hype regarding Trump. It's all set up for fear mongers, right? Um, Thank you, Butterfly. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. Hmm. Is that why Obama was president, for people to get used to? Obama was a repeat of Akhenaten. Uh, if you go read go read about Akhenaten, the true story, and how um, he tried to live in the middle of Egypt and unite both sides and create one, and create one. And then his son um, was Tutankhamun, but that wasn't supposed to be his real name. They killed him when he was 18. He broke his leg, or he fell off a horse or something, and died of some type of infection. And he was young, and they were said to have looked more like a species that were um, more alien-like than human. You know what I'm saying? And the story of Akhenaten and the story of Obama are very similar, because they didn't like the change that he was bringing. And then, Obama's sign was the sun, the bright horizon, and it said change. So it's telling you that the sun was changing and things were changing. And he was the representation of Akhenaten. And after Akhenaten left, then, everything changed and everything went downhill. And so now, in order to bring the gods back to fix it, because that was the mistake, you see? Hmm. Yeah, there's no way that Obama could have gotten away and done a lot of the stuff that Trump is getting away with doing because of the state of people's mental and their false sense of superiority. So they had to bring some crazy person in there like Trump to actually do what's going on and get it done quick and to bring in the frequency to bring back the God. So that's exactly what it was. Obama wasn't supposed to do this. It it was already written a long time ago in the book called Barron Trump, the last president. So yeah, it wasn't about the politics. It's all pre-written. That he did the script that he was given. That's it. Donald is doing the script he's given. That's it. Y'all really think these people are going to risk their lives to stand up for people when they've already been given a script and they already know what's going to happen? You know, they already know the plan, what's going down. And in order to successfully, execute the plan, they have to play their role. That's just it. A lot of people don't understand this because they're not given the correct knowledge. hmm So if y'all are still in the whole politics of it, then you're in the distraction area of it, and you're not getting the information. So does it matter what they did? It matters that's what they were supposed to do, right? Right. So he was only supposed to represent Akhenaten. That's it. He went in the same way and came out the same way as Akhenaten. That's why the first trip he took was to Egypt, and they showed him a photo. I mean, they showed him next to the carving of Akhenaten. That was to tell you exactly what his role was. His role was of Akhenaten. That's it. And it was an indicator of the return of the gods. You see, that's it. That's all it was supposed to be. Everything else was whatever, not supposed to get into the politics of it. hmm The wall is to the wall is the frequency. Um, the wall is to keep the frequency in, you know, because if you're going to put up 5G towers everywhere and create this pulsar frequency in order to allow these gods to return, you're going to need a barrier to keep the frequency in, just like on the movie Black Panther, how they had that dome to keep in their um, frequency, you know, um, their dimension. That's it. And he even said